Hello friends, welcome to the HSC Coach. In today's video, we are going to discuss NIBOSH IGC Element 4, which is Health and Safety Monitoring and Measuring. Previously, we have already created detailed videos on Element 1, Element 2 and Element 3. If you have not watched those yet, you can find the links in the descriptions below. Make sure to watch them so that your NIBOSH IGC series is complete. Element 4 explain how an organization checks whether its health and safety management system is actually working or not. Just creating policies is not enough. Just writing procedures is not enough. Conducting risk assessment and implementing control measures is also not enough. After implementing policies, procedures, and risk controls, the organization must verify performance. Without monitoring and measurement, we cannot know whether safety controls are effective or not. In this element, we will learn about active monitoring and reactive monitoring, inspections and audits, accident investigations, performance measurements, and review and improvement. Monitoring ensures continuous improvement and supports compliance with management system standards such as ISO 45001. Let us begin with monitoring. Monitoring means systematically checking safety performance. It is structured, planned, and continuous. The main objectives of monitoring are to confirm whether control measures are working, identify unsafe conditions and unsafe behaviors, detect system failures early, prevent accidents and ill health, and improve overall safety performance. Monitoring answers an important questions. Are we manage safety effectively? If you cannot measure safety performance, you cannot improve it. Now let us discuss the types of monitoring. Monitoring is divided into two main categories: active monitoring and reactive monitoring. Active monitoring checks safety before an accident happens. Reactive monitoring learns from incidents after they happen. Both methods are essentials for a complete safety management system. If we only use reactive monitoring, we will learn only after someone gets injured. If we use only active monitoring, we may miss lessons from real incidents. Therefore, a balanced system uses both active monitoring and reactive monitoring. Active monitoring is proactive and preventive. It identifies problems before harm occurs. It checks whether the system is working according to planning or no. Examples of active monitoring include workplace inspections, safety tour, safety sampling, safety audits, equipment checks, permit checks, PP compliance observations, and environmental monitoring, such as noise or dust measurement. Active monitoring detects hazards at an early stage and prevents incidents. Its benefits include preventing injuries, identifying unsafe behaviors, improving compliance, developing a positive safety cultures, and demonstrating management commitment. When workers see regular inspections and safety checks, they understand that management takes safety seriously. Now let us understand reactive monitoring. Reactive monitoring takes place after an incident or failure. It analyzes what went wrong and why. It is based on events that have already occurred. Examples include accident reports, incident investigation, near miss reports, ill health records, property damage reports, enforcement notices, and complaints from workers or the public. Reactive monitoring helps organizations learn from past events and prevent reoccurrence. However, it has limitations. It happens after harm has already occurred. It indicates that prevention has failed. It does not predict future hazards. Therefore, reactive monitoring should always be combined with active monitoring. Now let us discuss workplace inspections. Workplace inspections are systematic examinations of workplace conditions, equipment, and activities to identify hazards and ensure that safety measures are functioning properly. Inspections identify unsafe acts and unsafe conditions before accidents occur. The main purpose are to identify hazards before harm, ensure compliance with safety procedures, check the effectiveness of control measures, improve housekeeping and general safety standards, and promote a proactive safety culture. There are different types of workplace inspections. The first one is routine inspections. Routine inspections are conducted regularly by supervisors or line managers. For example, a supervisor checking housekeeping and PP compliance daily. Second is planned formal inspections. Planned formal inspections are conducted according to a schedule. For example, monthly safety committee inspections on a construction site using a checklist. Third one is statutory inspections. Statutory inspections are required by law for specific equipment or operations. For example, lifting equipment inspected every 6 months. Pre-use inspections. Pre-use inspections means it is carried out before using equipment. For example, a forklift operator checking brakes, horns and tires before starting work. During inspections, we check housekeeping, machine guarding, electrical safety, fire safety arrangements, work at height protections, PP usage and emergency exit. Now let us move to safety audits. A safety audit is a systematic and independent examinations of the entire safety management system to determine whether it is effective and compliant with legal and organizational requirements. Inspections evaluate individual hazards. Audits evaluate systems. Inspections focus on conditions. Audits focus on systems and processes. The purpose of a safety audit is to evaluate compliance with safety policies, check whether procedures are being followed, identify weaknesses in the management system, recommend improvements, and ensure continuous improvements. There are different types of safety audits. The first one is internal audit. Internal audits are conducted by trained employees within the organizations. For example, a company safety team auditing its manufacturing plant. Second is external audit. External audit are conducted by consultants or certifications bodies. For example, an ISO 45001 certifications audit conducted by an external agency. And third one is legal and regulatory audits. It may also be conducted by enforcement authorities. Now let us understand the difference between inspections and audits. Inspection focuses on hazards. Audits focus on systems. Inspection check workplace conditions. Audits check policies and procedures. Inspections are frequent. Audits are periodic and formal. Inspections are conducted by supervisors. Audits are conducted by trained auditors. Next, let us discuss incident and accident investigations. Accident investigation is a systematic process to determine the causes of an incident or accident and prevent reoccurrence. The primary goal is prevention, not blame. Investigations is for learning, not punishment. An accident is an unplanned event that results in injury, illness, or damage. An incident is an unplanned event that may or may not result in injury. A near miss is an event that had the potentials to cause harm but did not. All three should be investigated. The purpose of investigation is to identify immediate and root causes, prevent reoccurrence, improve the safety system, comply with legal requirements, and protect employees and the organizations. Accidents usually do not have a single cause. They result from a chain of failures. Immediate causes are visible causes which is directly linked to the accident, such as slippery floor, missing guard, or not wearing PPE. Underlying causes. Underlying causes are system weaknesses that allow immediate causes to exist, such as poor supervision, lack of training, inadequate maintenance, or weak procedures. Root causes. Root causes are fundamental organizational failures, such as poor safety culture, lack of management commitment, inadequate risk assessment, or poor communications. For example, if a worker falls from height, the immediate cause may be not using a harness. The underlying cause may be lack of training. The root cause may be management not prioritizing fall protections. Now let us discuss the steps of accident investigations. First, secure the scene to prevent further harm and preserve evidence. Provide medical assistance. Second, collect evidence such as photographs, documents, equipment conditions and CCTV footage. Third, interview witnesses. Ask open-ended questions. Avoid blaming language. Record statements. Fourth, identify immediate, underlying and root causes. Fifth, recommend corrective actions such as installing guards, providing training, updating procedures, and improving supervisions. Sixth, record findings. Record finding is an investigation report including evidence and action plan. 7. Follow up to ensure actions are implemented, monitor effectiveness, and review after a certain period. For example, if a worker receives an electric shock, investigations may reveal a damaged cable, lack of maintenance inspections, and workers unaware of reporting procedures. Corrective actions may include replacing cables, introducing inspections schedules, and conducting electrical safety training. Now let us move to a performance measurement. Performance measurement determines how much safety objectives have been achieved. There are two main indicators, leading indicators and lagging indicators. Leading indicators are proactive measures that monitor activities aimed at preventing accidents. Examples include number of risk assessment completed, number of safety training sessions conducted, number of inspections performed, percentage of PPE compliance, number of safety meetings, corrective actions completed on time and reports submitted. Next is lagging indicators. Lagging indicators are reactive measures recorded after incidents occur. Examples include number of workplace injuries, lost time injury frequency rate, number of near misses, property damage incidents, occupational illness cases, enforcement notices, and days lost due to an accidents. Both indicators are essentials for effective monitoring. Performance should also be reviewed periodically by management. This review considers audit results, incident statistic, compliance status, achievements of objectives, and worker feedback. The purpose is continuous improvement of the safety management system. For example, in a manufacturing company with frequent minor injuries, initially only accidents numbers were tracked. Later, active monitoring such as inspections, behavior observations, and safety meetings were introduced. Hazards were identified early and injury rate significantly dropped. This shows that prevention based monitoring is more effective than only reacting to accidents. For exam practice, you should be able to answer questions such as the difference between active and reactive monitoring, the purpose of workplace inspections, the difference between inspections and audits, steps of accident investigations, and examples of leading and lagging indicators. In exams, always write answers with explanations and practical examples. In conclusion, Element 4 explains how organizations measure safety performance and verify the effectiveness of control measures. It covers monitoring methods, inspections, audits, incident investigations, performance indicators, and management review. I hope you now have a clear understanding of Element 4. If you have any doubts or questions, you can ask in the comments. We have already covered Element 1, Element 2 and Element 3 as well as the updated 2026 IGC syllabus. Check the links in the descriptions and complete the full series. That is all for today. See you in the next video with new topic. Take care. Bye bye.